So let's just settle into our meditation posture and let's just land, bring ourselves to the same place our body is. And just notice what's going on in the mind. And don't judge it. So whatever is there, just accept it's fine. And it will change as well. So check your sitting position. So your legs, sits bones, hands, shoulders over the hips. And imagine your spine is a string of pearls of light stretching from the base all the way up through the crown of the head and beyond. You can imagine like a puppeteer, someone is very gently lengthening your spine. And your head is very slightly tipped forward and the eyes are down looking along the length of the nose. Tip of the tongue is on the roof of the mouth. And relax the jaw. And bring your awareness to the crown of the head and relax the scalp and the forehead and the eyes, the nose, the cheeks, your mouth. And bring the awareness to the back of the head, relax the scalp, the ears, the inner ear, your temples, the jaw, back of the tongue, and any tension in the back of the neck, just relax that, try and release that. Allow your shoulders to drop down, your shoulder blades to drop down. And all the while, keep lengthening. Just so you're not slumped over. You just want to keep all the energy moving. You want to keep your breathing happy, healthy, not constricted. So when you're in this posture, you're nice and balanced. Helps to balance the mind as well. And hopefully you're grounded. So relax the throat, the chest, the belly, limbs, hands, fingers, and feet and toes. And then bring the mind to the breath, noticing the sensation of the air as you're inhaling and exhaling. And if there are any sounds in your environment, just allow them to be there. They're just part of the tapestry of where you are. So try not to follow anything you're hearing. Try and push it away. And notice what kinds of sounds are distracting you. Then bring your mind back to the breath as they sort of fade away into the background, the sounds. And then now notice what's arising, what's bubbling up for you. And realize that it's all okay. And then just let it go. And imagine you're sitting on the bank of your river, this objective observer, not engaging, not running after, not getting swept away by your thoughts. You're just looking and seeing as each thoughts arise and put some space in between them and just allow them. And while you're sitting on the river of the bank of the river, you're free. So bring the mind to the breath and let's bring to mind all the people of our life. And start with our very dear beloveds, our children and spouses and best friends, these people in our circle. Maybe we go on holiday with them, maybe we support them through difficult times, help them out, listen to them, hear their stories. And then there's those people who we tend to try and push away, want to avoid, we don't really want to have anything to do with them. And then there's those strangers in our life. And did anyone change place over the weekend? The last week, the last month? And regardless of how we feel about them in our heart, they actually all are deserving of our equal concern, because each one of them has the wish to be happy, which is so simple. They wish to be free from problems and suffering, and they all have this amazing ability, just like you, to become enlightened. So let's just think we'll do this meditation this evening for all these people of our life, and by extension all sentient beings, and for ourselves as we move along our spiritual path. So remembering there is no negativity that cannot be purified, and this purification process we're doing is basically a psychological one. So we create negativity with our mind, so therefore we're going to create positivity instead. We can do this, we can make a choice. Every single time a thought arises in our mind, we have a choice about what we want to do with it. So we're the ones, as LAMA YESHE would say, you do have the power, and we feel powerless, but we're actually not. So this purification process, this practice, enables us to regain or to recognize the power that we actually have. It's within ourselves. No one else has it. No one else has it over us either. So first is the power of regret. So sincerely regret from the depths of your heart anything you have done to harm any living being today, in this life, and in all past lives. And think of specific actions of both your body and your speech, and then in general, regret all. And the reason to regret is based on this logic of karma. We experience everything due to our past karma, our past actions, and having harmed others, we will necessarily experience suffering in the future. So given that we understand what suffering is, large or small, inconvenient, perhaps it would make logical sense to pull out these karmic seeds before they ripen as future suffering for us. So think like this: I regret from the depths of my heart having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows, because I do not want the future suffering. I'm sick of suffering. And also regret any anger, attachment, and the rest that are the cause of why we harm others, and think again, I'm sick of this suffering. And then think, what can I do about it? Whom can I turn to? So here we come to the power of reliance. And here we rely upon the Buddha, the doctor, who has the methods that we can use to purify. So we're not asking Vajrasattva as some kind of higher power, please forgive me, as if he can change things. So no, what we're doing is we're wanting to use Vajrasattva's methods to heal ourselves. So visualize Vajrasattva above the crown of your head, and you imagine this is your Lama, your guru, manifesting in this aspect for your benefit. Vajrasattva is made of brilliant, radiant, blissful white light, sitting cross-legged on a white lotus and a moon cushion. And this white lotus, although it's growing out of a muddy pond, it's really the petals and the leaves, once it opens, are untainted by that mud. So just like our enlightened potential, born out of our delusions, but yet untainted by them. And he has this radiant, beautiful face. He has eyes the shape of lotus petals, and they're peaceful and full of love and compassion for you and all the people of your life. And he has a sweet red mouth. His hair is black and held up in a top knot. His arms are crossed at his heart, the left underneath the right. The left is holding a bell representing wisdom. The right is holding a vajra, which represents the indestructibility of compassion. And their being crossed represents the union of these two, which symbolizes enlightenment itself, the development of infinite wisdom and infinite compassion. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I am enlightened by this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva. May I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. So in order to develop compassion, we need to rely upon other beings, the very beings we have harmed, and those who have harmed us, by developing compassion for them. So think particularly of people you've harmed recently, and then in the past, and then in general all beings we have ever harmed since beginningless time. And then remember those who have harmed you, and although maybe it's a little bit more painful or a little bit more difficult, we try and have some compassion for them, because the harm they've caused you is going to magnify as suffering down the road sometime, at a most inconvenient time perhaps for them. So it's just kind of, we just want to have compassion for them because of that. Have some feeling in our heart for them to not suffer. So make a strong aspiration to do this practice of purification for the sake of all these sentient beings, and think, I must purify for their sake. So here we come to the power of the remedy, and this is the actual medicine doing the practice of purification. So we start with purification of the body. So now imagine Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful white nectar, like coming out of perhaps a waterfall or a hose, quite forcefully from his heart, and it sort of arcs around and enters your crown and pours into your entire body, filling you completely. And it pours into you and pours into you, and it forces out of your lower orifices all the harm you have ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid. And this pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left, as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Duda Mebalwa Sutokaya Mebalwa Sipokaya Mebalwa Anarakta Mebalwa Savasiti Mimpiyatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Haha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tathagata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Duda Mebalwa Sutokaya Mebalwa Sipokaya Mebalwa Anarakta Mebalwa Savasiti Mimpiyatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Haha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tathagata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Duda Mebalwa Sutokaya Mebalwa Sipokaya Mebalwa Anarakta Mebalwa Savasiti Mimpiyatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Haha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tathagata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Duda Mebalwa Sutokaya Mebalwa Sipokaya Mebalwa Anarakta Mebalwa Savasiti Mimpiyatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Haha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tathagata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Duda Mebalwa Sutokaya Mebalwa Sipokaya Mebalwa Anarakta Mebalwa Savasiti Mimpiyatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Haha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tathagata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Duda Mebalwa Sutokaya Mebalwa Sipokaya Mebalwa Anarakta Mebalwa Savasiti Mimpiyatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Haha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tathagata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Duda Mebalwa Sutokaya Mebalwa Sipokaya Mebalwa Anarakta Mebalwa Savasiti Mimpiyatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Haha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tathagata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe. So be delighted that all the harm you've ever done to any sentient being with your body is now completely purified, and think there is no way you could do anything but benefit others now with the body. So the next is a purification of speech, and Vajrasattva very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra, and it arcs around and forcefully enters your crown, filling your entire body, except this time forcing up to the top of the body all the negativity of your speech, and this overflows and disappears into space, not one atom left. So you can imagine that all the gossip and the harsh speech and the useless speech and lying and talking badly about others behind their backs, all of this is purified by this powerful nectar filling you as you recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Mebowa Sutokaya Mebowa Sipokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasidi Mempi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Matsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Mebowa Sutokaya Mebowa Sipokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasidi Mempi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Mebowa Sutokaya Mebowa Sipokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasidi Mempi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Mebowa Sutokaya Mebowa Sipokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasidi Mempi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Mebowa Sutokaya Mebowa Sipokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasidi Mempi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Mebowa Sutokaya Mebowa Sipokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasidi Mempi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Mebowa Sutokaya Mebowa Sipokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasidi Mempi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe. So now feel delighted, your speech is completely purified. And imagine it's not possible to do anything but benefit others now with your speech. So just imagine particularly someone is sharing a problem with you or an issue with you and you feel like you don't know what to say to help them, or you just say anything because you're embarrassed. But maybe think perhaps how marvelous it would be if every single syllable that came out of my mouth would be skillful and wise and helpful to that person. So the next is a purification of the mind, and Vajrasattva now very compassionately sends powerful beams of light from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and enters your crown and fills your entire being. So it's just the same as when you walk into a pitch black room, you switch on a light and that light instantly dispels the darkness. So same here. The moment the light from Vajrasattva's heart touches your heart, all the darkness of the negativity of your mind, so all your anxiety and depression and anger and attachment and grasping and neediness and wanting things and not feeling enough, all this is completely dispelled. Not one atom left as you recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Mebowa Sutokaya Mebowa Sipokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasidi Mempi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Mebowa Sutokaya Mebowa Sipokaya Mebowa Anarakta meboa sawasiti mimpi yata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita duda meboa sutokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasiti mimpi yata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Duda Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sabasiti Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Duda Meboa Sutokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anarakta meboa, sawasiti mimpi yata sawa kama sita me, sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan, sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva aham pe, vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita, duda meboa, sutokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anarakta meboa, sawasiti mimpi yata sawa kama sita me, sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita duda meboa sutokaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasiti mimpi yata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva aham pe. So again, be delighted that all your delusions, which are all the source of all of our own suffering, our own delusions, and the cause of why we harm others with our body and our speech, are completely purified. And think, there is no space in your heart now for anything other than love and kindness and forgiveness and wisdom and bliss and compassion. So next is a purification of the imprints of negativity of the body, speech and mind. So this is just a very subtle extra wash we do here. So you can imagine light and nectar pouring from Vajrasattva's heart, and as it is, you can recite maybe a couple of mantras each and visualize what we've just done for the body, the speech and the mind. Or you can just imagine light and nectar pouring into you, filling you completely and eradicating even the subtlest imprints of negative energy from your mind as you recite the mantra. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita duda meboa sutokaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasiti mimpi yata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita duda meboa sutokaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasiti mimpi yata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita duda meboa sutokaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasiti mimpi yata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita duda meboa sutokaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasiti mimpi yata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita duda meboa sutokaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasiti mimpi yata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva Hum Pe. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Savasiti Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Guruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tathagata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Savasiti Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tathagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe. Now feel you're completely purified, not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to omniscience have been removed. And so next we come to the power of resolve. And this is the fourth and very crucial step in the purification process, is where we make a decision to not harm or to refrain from harming. Eventually, never again, but because we have habits, and we've got habits that we don't even have from this life, from coming over to this life from another life. And we have karma with people and things. So, we just keep doing the same old stuff over and over again. But if we almost shine a torch on some of the habits that we have, bring some light to it, and then maybe try and work with it, and catch ourselves talking about this person or that person, gossiping, maybe hurting other people's feelings with sarcasm or inappropriate comments. Whatever it is that we do, that we have a habit to do, maybe in this one particular relationship, maybe with a sibling, maybe we could just start thinking about how our words are landing and how they might be harming or hurting. And think that maybe I'll refrain from doing this again, or for 5 minutes, or overnight while I'm sleeping. So there's many things that we all have that we need to work on. So just choose something to work on between now and tomorrow. Keep it simple, something you can achieve easily. And then rejoice when you do. So Vajrasattva is delighted with us and wanting to merge with your mind, melts into white light and absorbs into you through your crown. And think, my Guru's body, speech and mind, and Vajrasattva's body, speech and mind, and my own body, speech and mind are the same thing. And LAMA YESHE used to call this union oneness. So next, Rinpoche recommends to meditate on the emptiness of the three circles. In emptiness there is no I, the creator of negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma, and there is no negative karma created. So at whatever level you understand emptiness, place your mind there for a little while. This way we can think of all phenomena as being empty. They do not exist from their own side. And we can also think that perhaps the way things are appearing to me may not necessarily be the way they actually exist. So let's just dedicate all the merit and the positive energy you've created this evening doing this purification to all the people of your life and to yourself. And think, may all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. And for His Holiness the Dalai Lama, the wish-granting, wish-fulfilling jewel, source of every single benefit and happiness in this world, to the incomparably kind Tenzin Gyatso I beseech, may all your holy wishes be spontaneously fulfilled. And for Lama Zopa Rinpoche, we can chant this one. O tup shu chang jin jam gon Galloway, Tenzin kyong pelway kunzo dog porze, chog sum kurwe leg mon tu dru, pa dag sog dulje gondu jab ten shog. For Lama Ursel, Venerable One, to you whose kindness exceeds that of all the conquerors, for those wanderers in far-off places, especially the West, mindful of your loving concern for us in intentionally descending again into a family of a far-distant land, we make this request, O Lama, please live long. And Vikeshishera, beloved teacher, leading your students toward wisdom and compassion, explaining through exacting discernment the steps of the graduated path. You are the unequaled guide. Please live a long and stable life. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you, Mary, for hosting. And lots of love, everybody. And I will sweet dreams, and I'll see you tomorrow, hopefully. Okay, bye-bye.
Lots of love to